Vice President Kamala Harris is now joining us live. Madam Vice President, it is good to see you. Good morning to you. And we've been talking
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
That historic image, seeing you and House Speaker Pelosi. So much reaction to the president's speech last night. What's your main takeaway?
Yeah. I believe that the president yet again has reminded us to be optimistic and believe in America. Believe in America. He was very clear. He's going to bet, we're going to bet on Americans and America every day. And the work that he has been doing and the words of his speech, I think, really rallied the country to remember that we are competitive by nature. We believe in investing in working people. That is how we have grown. That is how we have grown our economy. That is how we've grown our standing around the world. And this is a president who is prepared to continue to invest, knowing the great potential and the great role of leadership that our country plays in the world.
Thank you for joining us, Madam Vice President. You know, the president's specific proposals are broadly popular, but our new poll shows a majority concerned about the size and scope of the package. They want the president to work with the Republicans. How much are you willing to compromise? How much time will you give them before trying it with Democrats alone?
Right. Well, George, as the president even mentioned last night, we have been in many meetings in the Oval Office with Republicans and Democrats together, talking about all of these issues and inviting their feedback, inviting their ideas. We're very serious about that and very sincere in our hope that we can reflect the bipartisan nature of the American people on these issues and come together in a way that is about, again, investing in families, investing in job creation, investing in the competitiveness of our country vis-a-vis the world, and the president specifically mentioned China as an example.
But the president, talking about immigration, he did not lay out a concrete plan with dealing with the surge of migrants, especially at the border, and that's your task. That's a job that he has handed you. So can you be specific with immediate plans that you will have in facing this issue?
So, Robin, what he mentioned is that I am responsible for and have been taking on the responsibility of dealing with the root causes of migration. And here's how I think about it. Listen, when you look at the Northern Triangle, which is the area of focus, the geographic area of focus, you have to ask and realize that I think most people don't want to leave home. They don't want to leave their grandmother. They don't want to leave the place where they grew up, the place where they're familiar with the culture and the language. And when people leave home, it's usually for one of two reasons. Because they don't have opportunities there to fulfill their basic needs, like feeding their children or keeping a roof over their head, or they're fleeing some kind of harm. So the way that we are then dealing with this is to say, hey, let's, one, understand these are our neighbors in the Western Hemisphere, and let's do what we can to give the folks there some hope that if they stay, help is on the way. So I've been convening, for example, members of our cabinet, including Secretary of Commerce, who's going to have a virtual trade mission with the folks in Guatemala and in the region, our Secretary of Agriculture, Tom Vilsack, where we're looking at the fact that among the needs and the harm in that area, it includes that they've had 2 gigantic hurricanes and now drought. And we're talking about economies that are in large part based on their agricultural production. So this is the work we're doing. I have convened American foundations to renew their emphasis and priority around the Northern Triangle. I've been talking with foreign leaders. I met right in this room with the Prime Minister of Japan to talk about renewing our friendship on many levels, including an investment in the Northern Triangle. Similarly, I've talked to many heads of state around what we can do, including getting the UN to renew its focus on the Northern Triangle through our great UN ambassador, Linda Thomas-Greenfield. So this is the work that we need to do. It will not be fixed overnight. Look, if this were easy, it would have been fixed a long time ago. It's not a new issue. But we are prepared to make the investment and to get in there for the long haul, to do what is necessary to address the reasons people flee.
Senator Tim Scott said last night that America is not a racist country. Do you agree with that? And what do you make of his warning against fighting discrimination with more discrimination?
I believe that we need to, well, first of all, no, I don't think America is a racist country, but we also do have to speak truth about the history of racism in our country and its existence today. And I applaud the president for always having the ability and the courage, frankly, to speak the truth about it. He spoke what we know from the intelligence community. One of the greatest threats to our national security is domestic terrorism, manifested by white supremacists. And so these are issues that we must confront. And it does not help to heal our country, to unify us as a people, to ignore the realities of that. And I think the president has been outstanding and a real national leader on the issue of saying, let's confront the realities and let's deal with it, knowing we all have so much more in common than what separates us. And the idea is that we want to unify the country, but not without speaking truth and requiring accountability as appropriate.
Have more in common than not. Madam Vice President, I have to tell you, 100 days. Today marks 100 days of this administration. So how would you compare where we are as a nation today as opposed to when you and the president took the oath of office?
Well, 100 days in today, when we came into office on January 20th, we were looking at, essentially a fraction of Americans who had been vaccinated. We now, as the president has rightly said, have vaccinated over 200 million Americans. The majority of adults in America have been vaccinated. Folks got their $1,400 checks who desperately needed them, trying to make it work. 10 million people were unemployed and helping them get through this moment. We have done the work of getting schools reopened, and now everyone from 16 on up can get vaccinated, and that means our teachers and our school bus drivers and kids are back in school. So these are the things that are happening, and also we have made a real serious commitment and investment to job creation in America. And we are, as the president said last night, America is back and we're here to stay.
Madam Vice President, thank you for joining us on this 100th day.
Thank you all. Be well. Thank you.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.